Good morning, everyone, and thank y'all for your time, because I know, like John said, everybody is busy, so we do appreciate your time for being here. It is an important meeting because it does talk about our community, and we definitely want to support that. So thank y'all for supporting the local community. Like John said, I'm with Moore Supply Company. We are a plumbing wholesaler, and yes, it is a wholesale company, but we do definitely sell to retail. We have a beautiful plumbing showroom right here in Humble at 1002 Northeastern Avenue. And we just want to invite the community out to come visit us. We feel like we're Humble's best kept secret. We've been around 20-something years, 25 years, and we hear every week at least once, wow, I didn't know y'all were here. Every week. So we're out here trying to get involved, and we just appreciate your time, and if you have a little bit of time, come visit us. Thank you.
Okay, and so on your agenda, you're going to see that next up we have Mr. McDonald. He's been the principal. This is your third year here. How many years were you at Wood Creek? 7 years. Wow, 10 years. We're so glad to have him. Please give him a round of applause. Mr. McDonald.
Okay, quick story. So I have a little limp right now. Yesterday, here's your hook. Yesterday, we have a Yorkie, 6 pounds. My wife drops it off at my mother-in-law's every morning. I have to pick it up every night and bring it home. It's like, that's what I have to do. All right? So yesterday, pick up the dog. Mother-in-law was around the corner, Eagle Springs, put the dog in the car, drive home, decide I'm going to check the mail. Get to checking the mail. It's one of those central mail slots, right? I pull up, open the car door, lean out, leave the door open. Now you see my mistake. Open the mailbox, get the mail out, dog jumps out. Got it? Dog runs. Bella. Thank goodness it wasn't Princess. So I'm screaming, Bella, Bella, Bella. Coach voice, chasing her down. Eagle Springs, car running, door open, running down, chasing her. After about 5 houses, my hamstring pops. 51 years old, Memorial Herman, I'm with you. Got the dog. My wife, Annie's not real happy with me. She's like, well, she doesn't care, you're getting old. Welcome to Summer Creek High School, and thanks for being here today. I am Brett McDonald, principal. I'm honored to be the principal at Summer Creek. We're excited about things happening here. We're trending absolutely in the right direction. If you've been around, you've kind of seen what's going on here now. We've kind of changed our focus here a little bit. You know, our motto being the best is the standard, so therefore we have the best students in the best facility, and we hire the best teachers. So we're really pushing now in our AP and advanced academics and dual credit at Summer Creek High School. We have the ACT coming up in another 2 weeks, and of the 400 kids in the district that signed up for the ACT across the entire district, Summer Creek has 300 kids that signed up out of the 400. So that's the kind of kids we're dealing with here at Summer Creek now. It's kids that are really looking where they want to go in the future, whether it is advanced academics in college or whether it is just they will have a career in technology pathway. We have kids here that see a brighter future now here at Summer Creek. We're excited about the school year. We're excited about our football game tonight. We're going to have a great game tonight. Our volleyball team is rocking and rolling right now, and we're seeing great things right now. I do kind of want to talk about one thing before I get off, and is partnering with local businesses. So schools, organizations, band, choir, orchestra, dance, athletics, we have a really good following with our parents, really good following that are also consumers. And so we really like working with companies in the local area that want to work with us, and we love it when Chick-fil-A offers this night, if you come and spend money at Chick-fil-A, they give money back to our orchestra or our choir, or Tommy's has done that before. So if you know of businesses that want to partner with us, we really would like to advertise. It helps us with our fundraising, and it might help out with the fundraising and the businesses in our local area. So if you know of companies, local establishments that really want to partner with Summer Creek, and we can advertise to our parents to come eat dinner at Olive Garden tonight, and 10% goes back to the band. Those kind of things really help out. So reach out to me. I'm on my emails on the website at Summer Creek High School. But that's what we're really looking for, is to really partnership with our community and fundraising and also helping our local businesses. It was sad to see some of these businesses in front of our school go out of business and never reached out to us because we could have helped out. Because our parents like to eat also, and our kids like to eat, and you know, if you we can advertise these kind of things through our social media, things like that. Okay. But thank you for coming today. I'm headed to another meeting, but enjoy yourself today, and thanks for coming to Summer Creek, and go Bulldogs.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. We appreciate that partnership. And one of the things that he has talked about before with this is just making this something that ongoing. We want to make available for businesses and organizations to partner with high schools. So we're excited about that. Before we go on to the next subject, I wanted to mention our gold sponsors. And I saw Erica. Where are you, Erica?
She's out.
She's out. Well, make sure and tell Erica Johnston, and of course Dwayne Johnson with Chick-fil-A. We wouldn't exist, would we, Trey, without Chick-fil-A? So we said, we're bringing Chick-fil-A, y'all want to come? Yeah. We don't care what we're talking about. We've got Chick-fil-A. And then we got HEB Summerwood, great partners in our community as well. K&S Sportswear, where are you? Raise your hand. Thank you so much for being our, thank you. So yeah, give them a round of applause. That's so. And also United Community Credit Union, and those little booklets that they have out there are awesome. We love having you there. Appreciate it. And also Truman Enterprises, where are you? Anybody here from Truman? Please tell them that we appreciate their partnership, and also the Postnet Printing Princess. Where are you? There you are. And they have it. So we appreciate you all very much. So moving on with our next subject, we're excited to hear from Dr. Fagan from Humble ISD, because you may remember a school board or school bond election passed, and she's going to come talk about some great things going on in Humble ISD. Please give her a big round of applause.
I'm your clicker. Just say next.
Okay.
Do I have to stand by the flag soon?
Yes, please.
Okay. He's my clicker and I have to stand by the flag. I am trainable. Well, thank you for being here. One of the things that is special about Humble ISD is that Humble ISD is family, and it's family beyond the walls of our schools, but all throughout our community. I've worked in 4 states, and I've never been as proud of the collaboration between schools and the community as I am here in Humble ISD. It really is a special situation, and this is the only place you've ever been. You're really lucky, and you shouldn't leave. This is 2018, May of 2018, we put a $575 million bond on the ballot. And we did that because we are a fast growth school district. I'm going to show you that in a minute. And we are also a school district that has some aging facilities. Now some communities say, well, I don't care, those schools were good enough for me. And some communities say, no, I think all children, regardless of their particular neighborhood, deserve a quality learning environment. So if the school starts to age to the point where the facilities are pretty different from the facilities we build today, then we should make a change. And that's what this community said. And that is one of the things that I am very proud of. So 74% of voters approved our bond. That's a huge number, and something that we should all be proud of, because it is making a huge difference in every single corner of our district. One of the things that people don't really think about is that if we don't have a bond and a chiller fails at a school, about $1 million worth, we have to buy a new chiller, right? There's no option to say, well, it's Houston, no air conditioning will work. We'll just open the windows. And that's what they do in Iowa, by the way. So that's where I'm from. And so there's no option. So when a chiller fails, then we have to purchase another one with our general fund. That's the same money we use for salaries and benefits and paper and everything. Electricity, you name it, that's our one and only funding source. We have a very limited pie of money, and it goes for everything. About 85% of our general fund goes to salaries and benefits, because we're in the people business and we care about people. So recently, Representative Huberty worked what is nothing short of magic and passed House Bill 3, which really did a complete renovation to school funding and allowed Humble ISD to receive a pretty significant infusion of dollars. And so we immediately, and the legislation required us to spend about $7.5 million on salary and benefit improvements, but our board immediately approved over $18 million. of that money into salary and benefit improvements in Humble ISD. Because it was long overdue, we have quality people, it makes us who we are, and we absolutely wanted to show that. Now, if we didn't have a bond, we would have had to take some of this money and tuck it away, because you never know when a roof will be replaced or a chiller. You sometimes know, sometimes you don't. You know, some of these things they go down on schedule and some don't. But because we have a bond, we were able to give that significant compensation improvement to all employees. Our police increase was about 10%. So then, when you have a general fund and you can use a large portion of that for salaries and benefits, you can also look at your bond and say, okay, now we can really focus on our facilities with the bond dollars. And some people said, well, okay, May of 18, I'm looking around, I don't see a lot of shovels in the ground, what's going on? So it takes a lot of time to figure out exactly how you're going to spend the dollars and the order in which, because you can only sell so many bonds at a time, or you have to increase the tax rate. So we laid out a plan, we developed and laid out a plan that allows us to not raise the tax rate at all and be able to build all of the schools we need and renovate and renew some of those. So this is the timeline that we have to work through in order to get that done. So now that we have a bond sequence in place that counts for every single one of those $575 million, we are starting to really move through that process. In addition to that, this bond really paid attention to what we call maintenance items. And these are things that nobody gets really excited about, you know, window caulking, chillers. These are not the things people go and vote for, but this particular bond set about $100 million aside for these kind of things, and this is all moving forward too. So you don't see a lot of this, but it's important to the infrastructure of the district, and a lot of our schools are pretty excited about new carpeting, things like that. So this is this is Harris County, obviously, and this is about growth. And these are numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. These are not percentages. And you know Katy is a much larger district than we are, right? So they're number one because they added 12,700 students over 5 years. But if you look down to number 5, we are number 5 because we added 5,318 students over that same period of time. Now, if you look at percentage of the district, our number is very significant because we only have 45,000 students today, whereas Katy's much larger than that. So this just gives you an idea of the change in students that we've experienced over 5 years and how that puts us in the Harris County area. We're number 5 with growth, which shows the need for the bond. And I think this is fascinating too because this really impacts this area heavily. But we have demographers that we hire to give us predictions about where schools are going to need to go and when. Now, it's not perfect science, but it's really close. And that allows us to know where to buy land and also how many seats we're going to need at a school at a given time. There's an art to this because you don't want to open a school too soon and have it under-enrolled because that's expensive, but you don't want to wait too long either because then you have schools that are bursting at the seams. So if you look at this, you'll see the Balmoral, Lakewood Pines, Groves are all over 650. And you'll also see that up here on Westlake Houston, across from Maryland's, 7 multifamily sites. In fact, 3 apartment buildings in that area will have about 1,000 units together. And so when you think about this is all information that we use to figure out when and where to build schools. And they really are very close in giving us information. You can also see there's pretty significant growth up around Humble High School as well, but certainly Summer Creek and the feeder down here is where the heat map is the hottest in Harris County. So what are we working on? Well, we're working on Elementary School 29. It's in Lakewood Pines. This is currently under construction. This is the rendering. This is the groundbreaking, and this is where it's located. You can see that this is timber forest right here. And we're actually working with 2 different precincts in the district to build a bridge over those railroad tracks right there so that folks who are in Balmoral will be able to drive right into that site and give some relief to that side of the community. So that bridge and and I'm not promising this because you know how construction is and this isn't my project, but that bridge is being talked about opening in 2021, which would be really fantastic because that school opens in 2020. So that would allow us to have a lot of access to that area and give some relief to Ridge Creek and to Groves Elementary Schools, both that are at capacity. All of our schools in this area are at capacity: Summerwood, Lakeshore, Groves, and Ridge Creek. So elementary school 29, just in time, will open and have space for brand new 900 students, about 950. And that's going on right now. So if you drive by, you'll see that construction site. This is elementary school 30. It will be in Fall Creek. And we are maximizing our design by, we save money when we have architects work on 2 designs at once. That's prototyping kind of. And so elementary school 30 is currently under design alongside new Lakeland Elementary School. And I saw the preliminary design yesterday. Beautiful school, very exciting. And this will help relieve some of the crowding at Fall Creek Elementary as well as Ridge Creek. So, and we haven't done the boundaries, so I'm just giving you kind of a high-level overview and no promises on any of that, but we did pass the boundaries for 29 on Tuesday night, so you can see exactly where that is if you're interested. This is middle school 10, and it will be going in right next to Ridge Creek Elementary School. We own land there. And this will be giving relief to Wood Creek Middle School. And this is, we're pretty far along in the design on this, and very exciting design for middle school 10. It's a lot like Westlake Middle School with some enhancements, because as you build schools, you learn, and then you make minor modifications with the architects before you build the next one. But you save a lot in architectural fees by doing it that way. Because if you start over completely, you have to pay the full 6.5%, whereas when you do a design like this, where you take a current design and you modify it, you're talking about just a 3% architectural fee. This is the 3rd gym for Summer Creek High School right here. When Summer Creek and Tacita were built, and they were designed for 3rd gyms. As you know, we have very high student participation in athletics, activities, and fine arts. And so we're constantly trying to find enough time for gym space, and we have a lot of groups that end up in hallways and in the cafeteria. So this will allow dance teams, ROTC, flag corps, all of the athletics and all the other fine arts groups to access gym space when they need it. And we're excited about these designs too. If you want to see all $575 million worth of projects, we have them on our website. And we have this really nifty little chart that has every single one, like the North Ag Barn, the new transportation center that's north of Kingwood that will save us $2 million of operating expenses a year. New Kingwood Middle School, new Lakeland Elementary School. All of these projects are underway right now. And we're going to start to see them coming online as we move forward. They're all in design processes. So it's a very exciting time. We're also running a really great school district, in addition to managing $575 million of new projects. But it's a really exciting time in Humble ISD. The opportunities for students are just incredible. The designs that our architects are coming back with, the way that our teachers and our leaders are having these conversations about making sure spaces are modern, engaging, inspiring, different than what they've been in the past, but also useful. It's very exciting. I can't wait for you to see some of the new designs that are going to be coming out of this process. And thank you for your support of the district and of the bond. And that's it. All right. Thank you.
Wow, that's a lot. So, I wanted to see, is Coach Harrison out there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. See, he's got those moves of a great receiver. Hard to cover. Texans, never mind. Okay, one of the things that I wanted to say about Coach Harrison, we've been blessed before Coach Harrison was here, we had Coach Ford without him. This is the man for the job. If you have not gotten to meet Coach Harrison, just to be around the school and experience the excitement, not only of this football team, but the entire athletic department. This is a man of integrity. I'm very thankful to call him a friend. Coach Harrison, please give him a round of applause.
Good morning. I talked to my wife last night I said, hey, I want to speak at the Bizcom meeting. She said, well, you started off 0-2, so you better speak about something different than football. No. I just want to talk about the program a little bit. That was a little joke. I heard Mr. McDonald joke, so I had to throw that joke in there. The football team is in good standing. We got off to a rough start. Played 2 quality football teams in Shallow Creek and Pearland and Dawson. And my thought process behind playing those 2 football teams is you don't get any false sense that you're a lot better than what you are. A lot of times you can play teams that are lesser opponents, and you just believe that you're a lot better. And coaches as well kind of get complacent. So I firmly believe in playing the best so we can find out exactly where we are, and our goal is to be on that level when it's time. District starts tonight, so I look forward to being on that level. When we start the playoffs, I'm definitely looking forward to being on that level and playing for a championship. I want to speak to you a little bit about the program. I know I have 3 minutes. I'll just kind of go through it, just kind of explain some of the things that we have going on as far as the kids trusting the process and getting our parents and everybody to buy into our program. My number 1 belief is building relationships with kids. I think that's my strength. Building relationships with kids away from football. And so I talk to my coaches about it all the time. The most important thing is to see a kid go out and play hard for his coach. And then ultimately play hard for the football team. Winning through integrity, discipline, toughness, chemistry, and then having fun. That's what I talk to our kids about. We had breakfast with champions. Mr. Kramer spoke this morning. That's the number 1 thing he said. Let's go out and have fun tonight. And that's what I've been talking to the kids about. Hey, the first 2 weeks are over. We know who we are. We know where we're trying to go. So let's go out and have fun and get our first district win. I believe in vertical aligning the program with Summer Creek High School, Summer Creek High School, Wood Creek, and then half of Westlake Middle School comes to Summer Creek. So we're doing the same things throughout our entire program. Encouraging athletes to play multiple sports, that's very important. I believe athletes need to compete year-round, that's very important. And building champions in life and athletics. This young man I coached a couple years ago, he's now playing for the New England Patriots. He's been in the league 3 years. He's played 3 years for the Super Bowl with 2 Super Bowl rings, and that's Landon Robbins. My coaching philosophy, I'm trying to go fast because I know I have 3 minutes plus getting ready for the football game. One thing about me, I love the kids, and I let our kids know every single day. I love and appreciate your hard work. For you to come out and put these pads on, come in this heat and work and do the things that you do, I appreciate that. And I let the parents know I appreciate their kids. I like my coaching staff. I tell them every day I'm here for the kids first and then coaches second. The difference between coaching hard and mistreating kids, I let the coaches know it's important. We got to coach our kids hard, but never mistreat kids. One philosophy I have is all JV and freshman kids will play in every single football game. Every single football game the young kids play. And parents enjoy that, yeah. But here's the deal, on the varsity level, 6A program, the best players play. The best players play. But I'm a firm believer that all kids play on the JV and freshman level so kids can develop. All right, and I'll go through it. My academic beliefs. We have weekly grade checks. It's one thing that I really do like that we do. Our coaches go around every Monday morning at 6:15, or between 6:15 and 6:45, and they shake teachers' hand every single Monday morning and let them know that we're here to help them to make sure they can have a productive classroom. And I think this helps out. We do it year round, so our kids know we're checking grades. Not only during football season, but we're also checking grades when football season's over. So every Monday morning, my coaches go around and they divide it up into sections, and I'll show you here in just a minute. We look for zeros, attendance, and behavior. We believe kids, football players need to be leaders on campus. Important to being a student first and then an athlete second. That's very important to me, and I emphasize that to our kids. These young men were part of the program that I once coached in. They all went off to college and graduated. They understand the importance of academics, and that's why they end up graduating as well as playing football in college. This is the way it's broken down, our academic beliefs. English, math, science, social studies, K, foreign language, fine arts, and SPED. Here are the coaches that go around and meet those teachers every Monday morning. So they hand the grade sheet to the teacher on Monday morning, and then they go back Thursday morning and they pick that grade sheet up. We do it year round. It's very important that our kids understand that academics come first. That's very, very important to me. Next, just want to talk about some of the things we have going on in our program. We had an all-in, all-summer Twitter deal this summer that everybody got involved in. We had a board member, we had parents, we had all our kids involved. We had a great summer. That went through from July the 3rd to July 10th. When UIL said we had to close the weight room down, what we did is we told our kids to post on Twitter, all in, all summer, hashtag. and they did it, got into it. We had a lot of kids. Here's the kids. We had over 400 kids worked out this summer. Great turnout this summer. There's some young kids, the middle school kids, some elementary kids in there, involved in there, and that's our kids from the summertime. Another group of kids. We start every year worship at Grace Church, okay? We had a great turnout at Grace Church. We had just about the entire varsity and freshman and JV team that was there this summer, okay, to start the school year off. Every Friday morning, on every game day, we have what we call Breakfast with Champions. We bring a guest speaker, okay? So my first two speakers didn't do a real good job. People ask, what happened in the first two games? I said it was the speakers. So when people were calling my names from the stands, I turn around and just call the speaker's name and say, here's the speaker that did it. They motivated the team, didn't do a good job. So I brought my secret weapon in, Mr. Kramer, this morning. He came in, and he was our guest speaker with Breakfast with Champions. So we're looking forward to a W tonight. If anything goes wrong during the game, make sure everybody calls me. Mr. Kramer's name, not Harrison, not Harrison. All right, but here's some pictures, and I'll go ahead and get out of here, because here's some pictures from the Breakfast with Champions. Our guys, I let the kids kind of determine the way they dress. Some days they wear jerseys, some days it's a business affair, they wear ties and things of that nature, but here's just some of the pictures that we have of that. Here's some of our award winners. What we do is a Breakfast with Champions for varsity football players, but we bring the JV and freshman players that were the players of the week up. So here's some of our younger guys that got a chance to come experience that, listen to the motivational speech. Here's some of our varsity guys right here that won from the Shadow Creek game. Some more younger guys that's here that won. This is our freshman that won last week, and I'll just kind of go through this. Here's our first guest speaker. He did a tremendous job. We didn't win the game, but he did a tremendous job. He had a great message. One thing we did for the parents, the moms, to get the moms involved, we have what we call Mama Dog Day, where the parents, the moms came in, they got opportunity to go to the position meetings with the kids. Then they got opportunity, well, we first started off with one big meet, then they went to the position meetings, then they got opportunity to go work out on the field. And that was last spring. Here's all the moms that participated in that. They had a lot of fun. Here's the deal. I wanted to try to keep some of them to play this year. I said, hey, can we trade the kid for the, you know? And here's just some of the pictures from that event. You see, we let them run out the tunnel. They had a great time. The kids lined up, you know, there's some of the pictures right there. They just enjoyed it. Just a great event just to get the moms involved, let them know we appreciate all the hard work. And for the dads, so the dads are not left out. We did, to start the school year this year, on Friday night, we played the first game. On a Saturday, on Friday, August 30th, invited all the dads. And what the dads did, and this is very special because I grew up in a single parent home where my dad wasn't around, and just to see a room full of dads, boy, I got emotional in that. That meant a lot to me. So what the dads got opportunity to do is come put the decals on their son's helmet, as well as write them a note and leave it in the locker for them. And there's a turnout. That's a turn. That was huge for me. We had another guest speaker. So that's what went wrong in that game, was the guest speaker. No, but the dads had a great time, and here's some of the pictures from that right there. The dads actually helping their sons put the decals on their helmets. So I said, hey, if the helmet looks messed up, it was your dad. It had nothing to do with the coach. Here's some more pictures of that. I'm sorry I went over, getting ready for a football game. If you're not doing anything tonight, I can just like guarantee you that you will see the absolute best Summer Creek football team tonight at Turner Stadium at 7 p.m. versus Pasadena Memorial. We will bring it tonight. We will bring it tonight. Thank you.
I think you can see why I'm so excited about this, because I know when I was playing, I would have loved to play for Coach Harrison. So one of the things that we've done for a number of years, and if you look at the bottom of your agenda, see where it says Summer Creek Bizcom mission statement? And what I'd like to ask is the people that are on the advisory board for the Summer Creek Bizcom, please raise your hand, because we've got a number of them. And we thank you so much, because that's where that mission statement came from many years ago. A part of this is we want to develop a sense of community. And so every year, and we so appreciate Dr. Paul Lyle and his congregation, because we've done a tailgating event, all come up and tell them about this year's edition.
Okay, so I want to brag on the school for just a minute, and I am going to brag on my kids. My son, just 4 years ago, was starting his senior year here at Summer Creek. Today, he is now a senior in the Corps at Texas A&M, straight A student in biomedical engineering, and applying to go into the Navy and applying in medical school. So he is just rocking it. And this school provides the foundation for that. My daughter just graduated last year. She has surrendered to foreign missions, and she is now at DBU.
Go Patriots!
And, oh, there you go. And Nancy's here. Nancy Morrison, you invested in her. And I'm telling you, she is just already loving it up there. I'm just proud of her. But I'm telling you, Summer Creek High School provides the foundation for that through the help of those here. She applied for scholarship after scholarship after scholarship. She graduated 7th in her class. She's going to a private school cheaper than she could have gone to a public school. And it's just amazing what she's done. But this school is an amazing school, and we've always wanted to be a part of this. Trey, you're the one who said a long time ago, I want the community to come out to the football game. We want it to be one of those things where the businesses shut down. I don't think they're doing that. But man, we want it to be kind of old school. Let's get out and support the team. Dr. Fagan, you're exactly right. This is a very unique place where the businesses, the churches, the schools are all together. And so this is one of the things that we have done for years is that we have a huge tailgating party between Summer Creek and Atascocita. Our church brings about 500 hot dogs and chips and drinks. We have a lot of music out there. I think the choir is getting involved. I think they're doing face painting. They're doing all of these things to where, come on out, come support the team, but come early and we'll feed you and we'll just have a good time just sitting out there, hanging out and enjoying being at the football game. I also want you to know, I see some of you taking pictures of this. If you want this banner to put on your website to just promote it, you'll notice that really there's nothing about our church on here. Our church is doing it, but this is about the community. And I will, if you'll email me at the church, I'll send this banner to you. I think there's one more slide where we've got it on our website to where when people go there, we're just saying, hey, come on out to the football game. So I want to encourage you to be there. It's going to be a great game. Clearly, we got a great coach.
Yeah.
And we got a great team. So I want to encourage you, come on out and eat some dogs with us. And I will say this, as a religious man, I believe in divine providence. When we bought our property, I'll never forget Trey saying, yeah, we're going to be the Bulldogs. Well, I'm a Louisiana Tech Bulldog. So I knew that God put us right here together. So I knew that was happening. But thank you, Don, and y'all come on out to the game.
Coach Harrison's gone, is that correct? I just wanted to make sure he was gone before I say what I'm going to say next. Because he's getting ready for the game tonight. This time last year, he was a brand new coach. 0-2. Do you remember what he said last year? He said, that's not going to continue. And they went on, what, they won 2 games in the playoffs last year? Is that right, Trey? 3 games in the playoffs. So we're expecting great things. This is going to be a lot of fun. Before we go on to the next stage, something that I'm excited about sharing with you here in a few minutes, I wanted to thank several people. First of all, Chamber of Commerce, thank you for, many years ago, very terrific. And so Chris Odell is usually our liaison. She's out for a little bit, so keep her in your thoughts and prayers. And Katie, we appreciate you so much filling in for her. Thank you. We really appreciate that. Also, I wanted to thank Sam Schrade, and he has done a terrific job for a long time. And you may or may not know this, that all of our Bizcoms have been videotaped, or it's not video, whatever it is. It's on YouTube now. So you can go out and see that. And so we appreciate all those people. So the next thing that we want to talk about is that on October 7th, we're going to have an event in our community that highlights humble throughout the country, really all over the world. And so Liz Strong is going to come up in just a moment. She's with the Golf Club of Houston, advanced sales director, a friend for many years. We thank you for coming. Give her a round of applause, please.
Is this loud enough? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, she needs help.
Do I?
Party Cooper.
Yeah.
Okay. So, thanks to Dawn and the Chamber of Commerce for inviting me today. If I ramble on, just bring out a big hook and drag me off. I'm passionate about the game of golf, and I'm certainly passionate about the upcoming event we're hosting. The actual professional event will take place October 10th through the 13th at Golf Club of Houston. We're just right down the road from here on Wilson Road in the Beltway. One thing I wanted to mention is that we're 24 days, 18 hours, 18 minutes, and 47 seconds away from kicking off the 2019 Houston Open, but I'm not counting, so I'm sure nobody else is. My thought today was just to kind of give a brief review of the history of the golf tournament, talk a little bit about the 2019 event, and then also talk about the tournament moving forward in 2020. Y'all, golf is in Houston a mecca of sorts. There are over 125 golf courses in and around the greater Houston metropolitan area. Golf is a part of the culture here in the city. The Houston Open is the 10th longest running PGA Tour event. That is a huge accomplishment. And it has a storied history going all the way back to, believe it or not, 1922 was the very first event. I want to take the golf temperature before I go any further though. How many of y'all actually play golf in this room? Show of hands. I see some hands, good. How many of y'all have a family member that play golf? There we go. How many of y'all have never had a golf club in your hand but maybe have heard about the Houston Open? All right. I think we got everybody in the room more or less. The modern version of the tournament began in 1946 when the Houston Golf Association came in to direct the tournament. Matter of fact, that year Byron Nelson beat out Ben Hogan and Sam Snead. They finished 1, 2, 3. Nelson, Hogan, Snead. I can't think of a better way to kick off the history of a really great golf event that it really, even though it's here in Humboldt, it's recognized worldwide for its stature among the golfing community. The Houston Golf Association, under the stewardship of that organization, has raised over just under, I believe it's just under $70 million for the community. That includes a $2.2 million that they raised in last year in 2018. So I know most of y'all maybe still refer to the tournament as the Shell Houston Open. Anytime anybody in our staff says Shell Houston Open, we have to put $1 in the swear jar. Shell Oil Company hosted that event for 26 years, and they ended their title sponsorship in 2017. The HGA self-funded the tournament in 2018, and starting this year, we're starting a really exciting era of bringing that tournament into the next part of its history. But just to let y'all know, it kind of takes a village to put on a golf tournament of this stature. There have been clubs all over Houston that have hosted the tournament, from River Oaks Country Club to Memorial Park. You'll hear that name a little bit later. Quail Valley Champions, Country Club of the Woodlands, later the TPC. And then the magic happened in 2003. The tournament moved to Redstone Golf Club, which is Golf Club of Houston, through an ownership change in 2013. So we actually hosted the tournament for 3 years on our private member course. And then the tournament course was built. It moved there in 2006. And this year will mark our 17th year of hosting the tournament. So it's a lot to be proud about there. A little bit about 2018. Our champion, Ian Poulter. Here's a little fun fact for y'all. Ian Poulter, who brought his family, by the way, and stayed at that brand new Staybridge Houston Suites right there on the Beltway. Brought his whole family. He committed to playing the tournament the Tuesday before the Thursday start of the tournament. It was a last-minute decision for him. By the end of the week, he had collected a $1.26 million paycheck. And with rounds of 73, 64, 65, and 67, he essentially earned his way into a playoff for the big paycheck. So with that win, he actually got a 2-year exemption of the PGA Tour, and he also punched a ticket to Augusta for the Masters. And so it was a huge win for Mr. Poulter. We're waiting eagerly to see if he's going to come back to defend his title. So let's shift gears. That's kind of the history of the tournament. Let's talk about 2019. This year marks the first year that the Astros Golf Foundation begins as the managing entity for the Houston Open. They have signed a 5-year contract with the PGA Tour. They will host through at least the year 2023. We are right now working with our brand new tournament director, Colby Calloway. This gentleman brings a rock solid 2 decades of experience to the Houston Open. He has an 18-year tenure hosting the AT&T PGA Tour Champions event in San Antonio. He has some experience with the FedEx Kinko's Open and the SBC Championship. It's really been a pleasure to work with him and his team. But here's what's really exciting. We have a new logo. There's kind of a new vibe. Lots of brand new activities and events that are coming to the tournament this year. So the Astros Golf Foundation, they're really kind of leveraging the excitement, building up the fan experience, and they're really focused on that. Their mission is enriching the lives of Houstonians and empowering the community through the game of golf. But more importantly, they really want to change this tournament going forward into something that the fans can appreciate. So when you go to Minute Maid Park and you're absorbing the excitement and having fun with your family, you're having fun with your significant other, you're there enjoying the baseball, you don't have to be a baseball player to enjoy that and be a part of it. And that's what the Astros Golf Foundation is going to do to this tournament. What they're saying is, we want the community to come out, enjoy the event, spend time with your family in a great natural setting, watching some of the world's best PGA Tour players, and you don't necessarily have to have a golf club in your hand or be a golfer to really get out there and enjoy the tournament. So we look forward to everything that they're bringing fresh to the event. And just a few things, new and exciting changes real quick. There is a very big name performer coming in, doing a Friday night concert after the golf. They are building a brand new military tent area on the tee on 18. That's hosted by Occidental and Phillips 66. They are giving special giveaways to the first 5,000 fans. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, like replica trophies, replica tee markers, rally towels, the whole bit. The purse has increased from $7 million to $7.5 million. And they've got this fantastic fan tailgate zone that they're setting up to the right of the fairway on 18. It's going to be phenomenal. They're going to have jumbotrons. They're going to be playing the football games. And also the Texas Children's Hospital Family Fun Zone. It's going to be bringing in loads of games and activities for the family, for kids of all ages. So it's really going to be a wonderful experience for everybody that comes out this year. Just kind of in conclusion, moving forward, how do I do it on time? 1 minute?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, make it real quick. All right, he's going to bring out the hook. I knew it he was going to bring out the hook. Okay, so let me just wrap it up here. We have been hosting the tournament for 17 years. In 2020, the tournament is slated to move to Memorial Park. The course is undergoing a $15 million renovation. They're bringing in one of the best golf course designers in the world. They're going to continue with their wonderful charitable contributions. And the last little bit that I just wanted to say is that we have been truly blessed at Golf Club of Houston to have been a part of the rich history of the event. And since 2003, we have worked tirelessly to be a great steward of the history of this professional tournament. It's an effort that we hope is reflected positively on Houston, positively on the city of Humboldt, and all of the community members, many of which are in this room. Our staff and our team, kind of at the end of the day, we carried on the tradition, we carried the torch, and we carried it proudly, and we're excited to see the future of the new Houston Open. We wish our fellow golf industry professionals all the best at Memorial Park. Thank you.
one thing too, oh yes, yeah, there's actually two things. There is going to be a drawing for, is it a foursome out there?
Yes, foursome.
I asked her to just put my card in and leave it by itself, and she didn't go for it. So when you go out, you can sign up for that or put your business card. The other thing that Liz, I don't know if you mentioned it, if you did, I missed it. They host events there in the clubhouse and also tournaments. And Liz would be happy to talk with you about those things. Is that correct?
And memberships,
And
absolutely.
memberships. Okay, so thank you so much. So one of the things that when we first started and had the advisory board, one of the big issues was crime and safety. And so continuing with that theme, on National Night Out is going to be on October 1st. I know Summerwood has a big event, and there's different areas that have that. And I know Barbara, you're involved, and I know that Rodriguez and some of the others, if you all raise your hands, if you all are interested in speaking with them about National Night Out and being involved with that, please see them, because that's important. And so today, we were going to have Lieutenant Romero come, but unfortunately, he was at a fellow officer's funeral. Is that correct? We're so sorry to hear that. And we so appreciate your all's service as first responders. So today, I think Deputy Coker, and you come on up, give him a round of applause.
Also with me is Corporal Gamble. I was asked to do this. I'm a retired lieutenant from the Houston Police Department, so I guess they figured that's good enough. That's my boss now, and I love it. I love being responsible for me. After hearing about the golf, I have the wrong job, except I love this job. I wish I had that money with this job, but no, I love working with everyone in here. On behalf of myself and other consumers from Memorial, I have been in that hospital way too many times, and every time I've gone, it has been unbelievable. I hope you are never there, but if you are, I promise you you're in good hands. Lieutenant Romero had mentioned he was going to talk about smash and grab burglaries. The good news is for business owners, we do not have a large problem with smash and grab burglaries when it comes to businesses, okay? Like some of the other areas do. One of the reasons for that is because this area that I've noticed, I used to teach classes on crime prevention for environmental design. We call it SETTEP. And what it is, it's lighting, it's the way you design your store, the parking lot, the camera systems that you use, different things that you use to try to keep criminals from looking at your businesses as an easy target, okay? Criminals are criminals because they're not very bright, okay? So they are looking for targets of opportunity, okay? They are looking for the easiest mark, the people that are leaving things that are visible. They're looking for the convenience stores that put their ATMs in the front of the store next to the big window with no barriers so that they can back the truck into the glass and steal the ATM. Thankfully, again, we don't have a serious problem with that when it comes to our businesses. However, one of the problems that we do have are burglary of motor vehicles, okay? That is something that occurs on a regular basis. Here, Corporal Campbell, when was it? We just had a couple of months ago, maybe a month ago.
Before school started.
Right before school started, we had throughout Harris County in the city of Houston an absolute unbelievable amount of burglary of motor vehicles. We had 29 to 32, somewhere in there. Apologize, I'm not accurate on that. Just in the Atascocita area and on the other side of 59. So one of the things that we noticed, because everyone has the Ring now, everybody has a camera, it's absolutely wonderful. We noticed that most of these crimes happen because people left their vehicles unlocked. They would come up, they would check the door opens, they get in the vehicle. But the main thing, the reason they're trying those doors is because they look through the window and they see things in there. They see things in the car, they see the laptop, they see the gym bag, they see the cell phone. You cannot imagine what we have seen and left in vehicles. And I used to be a part of a program where we would go, and I think you probably heard of it in the news, we would grade vehicles, and we'd leave a little flyer on the car, you failed. Okay, but we would explain, why we did that, because we didn't want to hurt people's feelings. And we would, a lot of times we would wait on them and hand them things like that so that they understood these are the things that you kind of make yourself a victim by providing a person who's going to break into a vehicle a target of opportunity, okay? I, through my previous career, did a lot of undercover work, did a lot of different things that led me to parking lots, doing surveillance and different things on BMVs. Each and every time that I saw that, it was a target of opportunity. Sometimes it's the style of the vehicle for an auto theft, but the vast majority of times, it was because people left things in their cars. Now, as residents in your driveway, you should know that, okay? But as business owners, you know, what can we do to try and prevent people from leaving things in their cars? It is very, very difficult to do that. One program that I was part of is we actually partnered, which this partnership is very important between law enforcement and the business community, because we cannot be everywhere, right? Unfortunately, when you call the police, we're coming as fast as we can. I spent 8 years in the Marine Corps, I'm loud. So, yeah, who's that? No, okay, so we can't be there. So you are actually our eyes and ears. Okay, you're our eyes and ears. And so we would have someone handing out a flyer at the business as people came in. Does your vehicle have this in it? Keep this in mind. And they did it for a couple of days. And those flyers, you would be surprised how many people got it, read it, and turned around and walked to their car. It was unbelievable. We just sat there and watched, and we would follow them, and we would say, "What's in your car?" Because we're just curious. We want to know what was left. And those things work. So it's education, educating the community, educating the customers that come to your business, you know, what to do to protect themselves. One of the biggest things that we see, another thing, not one of the biggest, but another thing that we see is people with all good intention, they get to the parking lot, they take all their valuables out and they put them in the trunk. Okay, well, criminals do surveillance too. So they sit in the car and they see you put all your valuables in the trunk. I break your window, I hit your trunk button. If you have an older car like me, newer cars, I don't think you can do this. And then I get in your trunk and I take your valuables and things like that. Keep in mind, for things like BMVs, the holidays are the absolute hottest time of the year for criminals. And it is when we tend to lose our minds because we have all this stuff, I don't want to carry it around, I'm buying things, let me go put it in the car, I'll come back in and I'll continue to shop, especially when you have way too many kids like that. So this partnership that I would like to build between the community and this agency, the Precinct 4. As I said, I retired from Houston. I absolutely love the Precinct 4 Counselor's Office. This area is in the Sheriff's Office area. Precinct 3 and Precinct 4 will also respond out here. But this agency is phenomenal in the way their deputies, when we respond to calls, we investigate those calls all the way through. So it's not being handed off to an investigator. So you're going to get a quicker response from us. You're going to get personal contact. When you speak to the deputy that responds, that's going to be the deputy who is trying to solve the problems, okay? Also, one last thing, the National Night Out, and then I'll leave you alone. I love National Night Out. I think it's a wonderful thing. I've participated in it for almost 27 years. But I don't like it to be just one night, okay? In my neighborhood, me and the neighbors, we started a deal where we would come out a couple of times a week and we would grill. We'd drag a grill out in the driveway and we would all sit outside in lawn chairs, just visit with one another, and have a good time, okay? The more we did that, the less problems we started to see on our street, because somebody starts coming down the street and like, these crazy folks are hanging out all the time, always outside. You want to go to another street, okay? Anyway, I'm going to stay. If you have questions afterwards, feel free to ask them.
Thank you. Okay, so as you look at your agenda, we're running a little bit long, but hopefully you can keep staying. The next thing that we're going to have is we're very blessed. And Michelle, you can start heading up this way. Michelle Stoddard with American Heart Association, Regional Vice President. As some of you may already know, every year we have a heart walk, and in the past, I don't know how many years, it was up in Kingwood around Lone Star College. This year we've got it at Generation Park, and Michelle's here to talk about that. Please give her a round of applause.
And I'll try to keep it short because I know I'm one of the few things standing between you and getting on with the rest of your day. So I'm Michelle Stoddard, Regional Vice President of the American Heart Association. And I want to, first of all, thank all of our incredible partners that we already have in this room. Humble ISD is a tremendous partner of ours, Memorial Hermann, and of course the folks at Generation Park who are making a significant investment in bringing the Heart Walk out to this area. So the mission of the American Heart Association is to be a relentless force for a world of longer, healthier lives. And we focus our efforts in the areas where we think we're going to have the greatest impact. So for example, some of you may not know that all high school students are required to get CPR training in order to graduate. That is something that we helped work on and we're very proud of. One of the areas that we focus our energies on is research. And so the research that we have funded, next one, thank you. So we've funded over $4 billion in research since our inception. And so many times when I talk about research, it can be a little bit nebulous if everyone hears the word research. So recently I had the opportunity to sit down with the lead researcher at Texas A&M, and he told me that his very first research grant he ever received was from the American Heart Association. And he was very excited about the fact that he had just gotten another research grant from us, and that it would involve studying how autoimmune diseases attack the heart and can contribute to heart attacks. Well, I lost my mother 2 years ago to a heart attack. She had an autoimmune disease. I had the same autoimmune disease. And so the research that he's doing today could very well lengthen my life. So that's how research can impact us locally. So also if you think about, raise your hand if you know anybody who takes cholesterol drugs, or somebody who's had a pacemaker, or a stent in their heart, or has ever tried to quit smoking, or has learned CPR, then you know somebody who's benefited from the research funded by the American Heart Association. So if we can go to the next slide, please. But here's the problem. We still have more work to do. Heart disease is still the #1 killer of Americans, and it is the #1 killer of women, more than all cancers combined. So we need some fierce, relentless folks in our community to come out and join us and help us fight heart disease. So we're trying to have, as I said, a greater impact, and I won't go into all of this, but there's a lot of things that we're up against: high blood pressure, obesity. Our CPR bystander rate is very low, so the amount of folks who, should they witness an incident that would jump in and intervene with CPR is very low, so we're trying to address that. So if you go to the next one. So one of the ways that we're trying to create impact is through our Heart Walk. So it's a one-day event, but it's a year-round mission. And that is to bring our community together, to educate folks, and to work with those of you who support us to see how we can improve your lives, improve the lives of your families, your employees. And so there are different ways that folks can be involved. They can be a sponsor, they can have a team, they can just come out and join us. There is no registration fee to be part of Heart Walk. It's family friendly, so you can come out. The more the merrier. We want to see everyone out there joining us on November 2nd at Generation Park. And you can also help us by spreading the word. So I've told you a little bit about, and one more. I've told you a little bit about what we do and how we do it, but really what's more important to us is the why. The why heart disease prevention is important to us. And so Don has been graciously offered to share his personal why.
So one of the reasons that before you're going to commit time or effort to something is the why you do that. These are my parents over here, Herschel and Donna Gaddy, and that was around 1944 when he ended up being a lieutenant colonel in the Army before he retired. And so after he came back from the war, of course, now we know a lot more about the things that people deal with. He saw some horrible things. And the way that he dealt with that was he was a very angry man, very stressed out. He was wound tight as he could be. He also gained an enormous, he was about my height, weighed about 80 pounds more than I do. And he also was a heavy smoker. So when I was 5 years old, I saw my dad experienced the second of a major heart attack. And changed our family's life.